Leadership is not about titles, authority, or power. It is about responsibility. The greatest leaders in history were not the ones who demanded respect, but the ones who earned it through their actions. They did not wait for someone else to step in, they stepped up. They understood a simple truth. If something needs to be done, it is not someone else's job, it is theirs. Responsibility is the foundation of leadership. It is the ability to say, I will take ownership of this situation, even when it is difficult, even when it is unfair, and even when no one is watching. Too often people hesitate. They wait for permission. They wait for the right moment. But the truth is, the right moment never comes. There will always be reasons to hold back, to delay action, to avoid risk. Leaders don't fall into this trap. They recognize that leadership is not about waiting, it is about doing. I think of a workplace where problems are passed around like a hot potato. One person says, that's not my job, and the next person says, someone else will handle it. Before long, no one steps up and the problem festers. Now, imagine a different scenario. Someone sees the issue and takes ownership, not because they have to, but because they know it's the right thing to do. That person, regardless of their position, is a leader. They don't need authority to lead. They lead because they take responsibility. Taking responsibility is not always easy. It means accepting blame when things go wrong, even if the failure was not entirely your fault. It means resisting the urge to point fingers and instead asking, what could I have done differently? How can I ensure this doesn't happen again? Weak leaders look for excuses. Strong leaders look for solutions. This mindset shift is critical. Instead of focusing on what is out of their control, true leaders focus on what they can influence. They understand that leadership is not about controlling people, but about guiding them, about being the steady presence in the midst of uncertainty. Responsibility also means making difficult decisions. There will be moments when the right choice is not the easy choice. A true leader does not shy away from these moments. They make the hard calls, not based on personal convenience, but based on what is best for the team, the organization, or the people they serve. This is where many falter. They want to be liked. They want to avoid conflict. But leadership is not about popularity, it is about doing what is necessary, even if it is unpopular. History is filled with examples of leaders who took responsibility when others refused. I think of great military generals who stood alongside their soldiers in battle, accepting the same risks and hardships. Think of business leaders who took ownership of failures rather than blaming their teams. I think of revolutionaries who, rather than waiting for someone else to lead change, became the catalyst themselves. These are the individuals who shaped history, not because they were given power, but because they embraced responsibility. Responsibility is not only about the big moments, it is about the small everyday decisions. It is about being the person who does not walk past a problem, who does not ignore the difficult conversations, who does not wait for instructions when they see something that needs to be done. It is about setting the example, understanding that people do not follow words, they follow actions. Imagine you are part of a team, whether at work, in sports, or within your community. You notice a problem, something that is holding the team back. You have two choices: ignore it and hope someone else fixes it, or take action. The choice you make determines your leadership potential. The moment you decide to step up, to take ownership, to lead by example, you become someone others look to. And leadership, at its core, is about being the person others trust to do the right thing, not because they have to, but because they choose to. One of the greatest challenges in leadership is resisting the temptation to make excuses. The world is full of excuses: bad circumstances, difficult people, unfair situations. But excuses do not solve problems, responsibility does. When you stop making excuses, when you take ownership of your actions and decisions, you gain control over your life. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming the architect of your future. This mindset extends beyond leadership roles. It applies to personal growth, relationships, and daily life. Imagine someone who constantly blames others for their failures. The teacher was unfair, the boss was unreasonable, the economy was against them. Now, imagine someone who, regardless of circumstances, takes full ownership of their life. They ask themselves, what can I do to improve? How can I adapt? What actions can I take today to create a better tomorrow? Who do you think will go further? The answer is obvious. Taking responsibility also builds resilience. When you accept ownership of your mistakes, you'll learn from them. Instead of being paralyzed by failure, you grow from it. You develop the ability to navigate setbacks without losing momentum. This is what separates those who succeed from those who remain stuck. Those who take ownership move forward. Those who make excuses stay where they are. One of the greatest misconceptions about responsibility is that it is a burden. In reality, responsibility is freedom. When you take responsibility, you are no longer dependent on others to fix things for you. You become the driver of your own life. You stop waiting for external circumstances to change and start creating the changes yourself. This is what true leadership looks like, not just in organizations, but in life itself. There will always be challenges. There will always be setbacks. But in those moments, the question is not, whose fault is this? The question is, what can I do to make this better? The moment you start thinking this way, you step into leadership. You become the person others look to for guidance, the person they trust in difficult times, the person who makes things happen rather than waiting for things to happen. The world does not need more people waiting on the sidelines. It needs more people willing to take ownership, to embrace responsibility, to step up even when it is hard. Leadership is not reserved for those in positions of authority. It is a choice. And that choice is available to each of us every single day. Discipline is the foundation of strength, resilience, and success. It is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who settle for mediocrity. The path to anything meaningful requires discipline, the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Comfort is easy, but it weakens the mind. Strength is built through struggle, through hardship, and through the daily commitment to push beyond limitations. There is a common misconception that discipline is restrictive, that it takes away freedom. In reality, the opposite is true. Discipline creates freedom. When you develop the ability to control your actions, emotions, and thoughts, you gain mastery over your life. You are no longer a slave to impulse, to distraction, or to fleeting desires. You become the kind of person who follows through, who stays committed, and who does not give up when things become difficult. A disciplined person does not rely on motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind. Some days you wake up feeling energized and ready to conquer the world. Other days you feel exhausted and uninspired. If you rely on motivation, you will be inconsistent, and inconsistency leads to failure. Discipline, on the other hand, is a choice. It is the ability to say, I will do this no matter how I feel. It is what drives athletes to train before the sun rises. It is what pushes students to study when they would rather relax. It is what keeps leaders focused on their mission when the world is full of distractions. In life, adversity is inevitable. You will face obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. The question is not whether these challenges will come, they will. The real question is how you will respond. Most people retreat when things get hard. They look for the easy way out. They avoid discomfort. But those who embrace discipline push through. They understand that struggle is not something to be avoided. It is something to be embraced. Every challenge, every hardship, every difficult moment is an opportunity to grow stronger. The Stoics believe that we cannot control external events, but we can always control how we respond. This philosophy is at the core of discipline. You do not control the circumstances of your life. You do not control the weather, the economy, or the behavior of others, but you always control yourself. You control your mindset, your actions, and your level of effort. And in the end, those are the things that determine your success. One of the greatest lessons in discipline is learning to delay gratification. In a world obsessed with instant rewards, those who master patience and long-term thinking stand apart. The greatest achievements in history did not happen overnight. They were the result of years, sometimes decades, of relentless effort. The artist who spends hours perfecting their craft, the entrepreneur who works tirelessly before seeing success, the athlete who trains every day without immediate results, these are the people who understand that discipline is about commitment, not convenience. The modern world offers endless distractions. Social media, entertainment, and the pursuit of pleasure constantly pull us away from what truly matters. It is easy to waste hours scrolling through a screen, avoiding real work and seeking momentary enjoyment. But easy is rarely meaningful. Discipline is about choosing what is important over what is easy. It is about having the strength to say no to distractions, to cut out what does not serve your purpose, and to focus on what will lead to real growth. Discipline also applies to emotional control. Many people react impulsively to situations, allowing anger, frustration, or fear to dictate their actions. But a disciplined mind is steady. It does not get shaken by minor inconveniences. It does not lash out in anger. It does not allow emotions to override logic. Instead, it remains focused, calm, and in control. This is a skill that takes time to develop. But once mastered, it gives you an incredible advantage in life. Those who can control their emotions can control their actions, and those who can control their actions can shape their destiny. There will be moments when discipline feels like a burden, when waking up early, pushing through pain, or staying committed to a goal seems overwhelming. But these are the moments that define you. Every time you push forward despite resistance, you become stronger. Every time you refuse to give in to weakness, you build resilience. And over time, this resilience becomes unshakable. Imagine two paths. One is comfortable. It requires little effort, little sacrifice, and little struggle. It is tempting, but it leads nowhere. The other path is difficult. It demands discipline, persistence, and hard work. It is challenging, but it leads to greatness. The path you choose determines your future. And the truth is, no one can choose it for you. You must decide. Every great leader, every successful person, every individual who has left a lasting impact has one thing in common. They chose discipline over comfort. They did not wait for inspiration. They did not look for shortcuts. They did the work day after day, even when it was hard, even when no one was watching. And that is why they succeeded. If you want to be great, if you want to achieve something meaningful, if you want to build a life of purpose, then you must develop discipline. It will not be easy. There will be days when you want to quit. But if you stay committed, if you push through, if you refuse to let excuses dictate your life, you will become unstoppable. In the end, discipline is not about punishment, it is about power. It is the power to shape your life, to control your destiny, and to become the person you were meant to be. It is the foundation of success, the key to resilience, and the mark of true strength. And it is always within your control. Integrity is the foundation of trust, and trust is the foundation of leadership. Without integrity, words are empty, promises are meaningless, and relationships, whether personal, professional, or societal, begin to break down. People do not follow titles, they follow those they trust. They follow those whose actions align with their words. They follow those who stand firm in their values, not just when it is easy, but especially when it is difficult. Integrity is not about saying the right thing, it is about doing the right thing. It is about standing by principles even when no one is watching. Many people claim to value honesty, discipline, and commitment, but the real test comes when those values are inconvenient. It is easy to be honest when honesty has no cost. It is easy to be disciplined when discipline is comfortable. It is easy to be committed when commitment is effortless. But true integrity is demonstrated in the moments when doing the right thing comes with sacrifice. It is in these moments that real character is revealed. A person of integrity does not make excuses. They do not shift blame. They take ownership of their actions, their words, and their decisions. If they make a mistake, they admit it. If they fall short, they acknowledge it and work to improve. Integrity means having the humility to recognize faults and the courage to correct them. It is not about being perfect, it is about being honest, accountable, and consistent. One of the greatest challenges of integrity is the temptation to take shortcuts. In a world that rewards quick results, it is easy to justify bending the rules, exaggerating success, or making compromises in the name of progress. But shortcuts always come at a cost. A person who gains success without integrity will find that success is fragile. The moment trust is broken, it is incredibly difficult to restore. A leader who cuts corners may see short-term gains, but in the long run, they lose credibility, and once credibility is lost, leadership crumbles. The strongest leaders in history are remembered not just for their achievements, but for their integrity. They stood by their principles even in the face of adversity. They did not take the easy way out. They chose the harder, more honorable path, knowing that true success is built on a foundation of honesty and trust. When people see a leader who refuses to compromise on values, they are inspired. They feel safe. They know that they are following someone who will not betray them when it becomes convenient. Integrity is also about consistency. A person who changes their values depending on the situation is not truly principled. Integrity means being the same person in private as in public. It means that the version of yourself that people see when the spotlight is on you is the same version they would see if the cameras were off. In a world where reputation can be built or destroyed with a single action, consistency is everything. Those who stand firm in their values, regardless of external pressure, earn the deepest and most lasting respect. One of the hardest aspects of integrity is standing alone. There will be moments in life when doing the right thing means going against the crowd. It is easy to follow the majority. It is easy to stay silent when speaking up might cost something. But true integrity means having the courage to stand for what is right, even when no one else does. It means refusing to go along with dishonesty, even when it would be easier to stay quiet. It means choosing principle over popularity, truth over convenience, and honor over comfort. A person with integrity does not need to constantly prove themselves. Their actions speak for them. They do not need to remind people of their honesty, because their track record makes it clear. They do not need to demand trust, because they have earned it. Integrity is not built through words alone. It is built through a lifetime of consistent action. It is built through every small decision, every kept promise, every moment of truthfulness when lying would be easier. In relationships, integrity is what creates security. When people know that you are honest, that you do not manipulate, that you mean what you say, they feel safe. They know they can trust you, not just when things are good, but when things are hard. In business, integrity is what creates loyalty. Customers, employees, and partners are drawn to those who operate with fairness and transparency. In leadership, integrity is what creates influence. People do not follow those they suspect are deceptive or self-serving. They follow those whose words and actions align, those who lead not just with authority, but with principle. Integrity also brings peace of mind. There is no need to keep track of lies. There is no fear of being exposed. A person of integrity does not live with the anxiety of being caught or the burden of maintaining a false image. They walk through life with confidence, knowing that their success is built on a solid foundation, not on deception or shortcuts. This inner peace is invaluable. The true test of integrity often comes in moments of weakness. When no one is watching, when the pressure is high, when the easy way out presents itself, this is when character is revealed. A person of integrity does not take advantage of a situation simply because they can. They do not cheat simply because no one would find out. They do not abandon their values simply because they are under stress. Their commitment to doing what is right is not conditional. It is absolute. Integrity does not guarantee an easy path. In fact, it often makes the road harder. There will be moments when dishonesty seems like the simpler option, when standing by principles requires sacrifice, when doing the right thing feels like an uphill. But integrity ensures that the path, though difficult, leads somewhere meaningful. It ensures that when success comes, it is real, and when respect is earned, it is genuine. Many people want success, fulfillment, and impact, but few are willing to go through the process of growth. Growth is not convenient. It does not fit neatly into a schedule, nor does it come without cost. It demands sacrifice, the sacrifice of comfort, of outdated beliefs, and sometimes even of relationships that hold us back. The people who achieve true excellence are those who understand that growth requires them to leave behind the person they were yesterday and step into the unknown of who they can become. The first step in growth is embracing discomfort. Society teaches us to seek comfort, to avoid pain, to minimize struggle. But the greatest lessons in life come from discomfort. A muscle does not grow unless it is torn and rebuilt. A mind does not sharpen unless it is challenged. A person does not become stronger unless they are tested. The moments that push you to your limits are the moments that shape you. Growth does not happen when things are easy, it happens when things are difficult, when you are on the edge of giving up, when you are forced to push beyond what you thought was possible. Many people fear failure. They see it as something to be avoided at all costs. But those who understand growth see failure differently. They see it as a teacher, a guide, a necessary step in the journey to mastery. The only real failure in life is refusing to try. The greatest innovators, thinkers, and leaders all faced failure many times. The difference is that they did not let failure define them. They used it as fuel. They studied their mistakes, learned from them, and came back stronger. Growth-minded individuals do not ask, "What if I fail?" Instead, they ask, "What can I learn?" To grow, one must also embrace humility. Arrogance is the enemy of progress. The moment you believe you have nothing left to learn is the moment you stop growing. The best in any field, whether in business, sports, or art, remain students. They seek knowledge, listen more than they speak, and surround themselves with those who challenge them. Growth requires the ability to say, "I don't know everything," and the willingness to learn from anyone, regardless of their status or background. Growth also demands discipline. There will be days when you do not feel like reading, training, improving, or pushing forward. But discipline is what separates those who make progress from those who stay stagnant. It is easy to start something new when motivation is high, but real growth happens in the moments when you want to quit, when you are tired, uninspired, or frustrated. The key is consistency. The small, repeated actions every single day compound into something extraordinary over time. One of the biggest obstacles to growth is the fear of judgment. People hesitate to change because they are afraid of what others will say. They worry about criticism, about standing out, about losing the approval of those around them. But real growth requires breaking free from this fear. It requires choosing progress over popularity, truth over validation, and authenticity over acceptance. Many of the most impactful figures in history were ridiculed before they were respected. They were doubted before they were admired. But they did not let fear of judgment stop them. They knew that growth was more important than the opinions of those who did not understand their vision. Growth also requires letting go of the past. Many people are stuck not because they lack potential, but because they are holding on to old habits, old beliefs, and old versions of themselves. They allow past mistakes to define them. They replay past failures in their minds, convincing themselves that they cannot move forward. But growth demands that you release the past. It demands that you forgive yourself, learn the lesson, and move on. The only thing that truly matters is what you do now, in this moment. The past is unchangeable, but the future is unwritten. Another key to growth is surrounding yourself with the right people. The people in your life either push you forward or hold you back. If you surround yourself with those who are complacent, negative, or unwilling to improve, their mindset will influence you. But if you seek out those who challenge you, inspire you, and push you to be better, growth becomes inevitable. The right environment makes all the difference. Growth is not just about personal success, it is about contribution. The more you grow, the more you can give. The stronger you become, the more you can support others. The wiser you become, the more you can teach. The more disciplined you are, the more you can lead. Growth is not selfish, it is necessary to make a real impact. The world does not need more people who settle for mediocrity. It needs people who strive to be better every single day, not just for themselves, but for those around them. Ultimately, growth is a lifelong journey. There is no finish line. There is no moment when you have arrived. The process of becoming better never ends, and that is the beauty of it. There is always another level to reach, another lesson to learn, another skill to master. Those who embrace this journey with enthusiasm, resilience, and an open mind will find that growth is not just about achieving something, it is about becoming someone. In the end, the choice is simple. You can stay the same, repeating the same patterns, living within the same limits, and settling for the same results. Or you can choose to grow. You can choose to step into discomfort, to seek knowledge, to push through failure, and to commit to becoming the best version of yourself. No one can make this choice for you. No one can force you to grow. But if you make the decision, if you truly commit, there is no limit to what you can achieve.